俾到陳可嘉，左腳撥右腳過度
set 個波過嚟咧，哇！呢個波好勁啊嚇！咁啊，陳浩嘉嘅射波，
嗰個反應咧稍微慢咗少少咧，就起唔到佢，照射埋去。
咁嗱，你睇下陳浩嘉上嚟撳個波撳得好型啊！
哇！呢度做咗靚喎，陳浩嘉入到入去，射成波。
I think for me, dedicating a lot of time to my sport, people always assumed I was quite dumb in school. I didn't really like it. That everyone always like make jokes and stuff. It wasn't like anything hard, but it was like I didn't want to hear it sometimes because I knew if I didn't play the sport and I had more time with like school and stuff, that I wouldn't like struggle as much in school. I think people think student athlete, they think the pathway is quite easy, but I really don't think it's easy. It's quite challenging actually, balancing two different things. There's moments where I didn't want to go to school at all. I was like, because I would have to travel all the way to like Fanling and like Sheungshui to train, and going back to school all the way in like Kowloon side. It was quite tiring. Especially in IB last year, I was in and out of school and stuff. And that was really difficult for me and hard to keep up with assignments, and especially like tests, like assessments. During like the first half of the year, I struggled a lot. I dropped my PG and stuff like that, and sometimes I just didn't go back to school. But my mom was also quite strict on me going to university and stuff like that, so I knew I had to focus to get into a decent university in Hong Kong. So towards my final exams in IB, April, March, around that time, I had to stop all my training and just fully focus on school. And at that moment, I was quite optimistic about the decision. But most of the time, I tried to like keep myself like disciplined and go back to school because I knew it was also important to me.
I think especially off the field, there's a lot of challenges that we have to face, especially being a student athlete, especially in Hong Kong, because your training schedule is kind of fixed. So you have to move your class times around that, and anything extra is kind of secondary to school and football. So I guess scheduling everything all together in one day or even the whole week is a bit of a challenge.
Well, this year, there was a moment where I messed up really bad in the game and I lost us the game. I'm still like 18 and stuff, and playing like professional football, it's quite mentally challenging as well as physically, and it was like a really big mistake I made and we lost 4-3. And that was quite challenging for me for the next 2 weeks. I got like a lot of for it, especially from my coaches, and it was hard for me to bounce back. My coaches, like initially they were quite pissed off at me and stuff, but later on they were like more encouraging. And another friend of mine, really good friend of mine, my teammate, also had a really bad mistake in one of the game, and that caused him to like, he was playing a lot in the beginning of the season, but after that mistake he just spiraled down toward the end of the season and didn't really play much. And since that game, the month or two since the game, he was like really, really down and he couldn't get himself back up. And a lot of us were like really like concerned about him because he was always like a very happy and like joyful guy. But since that game, he changed a bit, and we tried to reach out to him sometimes, but he was always quite reluctant to like tell us about how he's feeling and stuff. And yeah, that was for me as well. I know he went through a lot, but for me, like, knowing he's my good friend and stuff, it was hard to see him like that.
I think probably the biggest one is, hearing the criticism from the older players at the club, and also, I guess, dealing with all like the politics off the pitch as well. I feel like me and Yoshi being, younger within the squad, but still playing a pretty big role in the team, is a pretty big challenge for both of us because obviously as a young player, there's certain things and certain boundaries that you can't cross. A lot of the players there really want to earn their spot. And I think, especially the training being every day, it makes the environment more competitive and it makes everybody, I guess, more eager to show up to show their best self.
My journey has been quite different from my teammates. All of my teammates have been involved in the national team from quite a young age, but for me, I developed outside of the national team until I was like 14, and then the jump from U18s to professional has been quite different, especially being around older and more senior guys who have also been through my journey, but also have their experience, because some of my teammates have played in like China and stuff, and China is like, you're going to a different country to play, and I think it's quite difficult. And a lot of my teammates, especially the more senior ones, they have a lot of experience there, and they've also taught me a lot of like how to deal with pressure, especially being in a professional environment. There's a lot of media and a lot of comments from the outside, and because some of them are around like 30, 40, and I know it's like it's a different generation, I would say, and it's a bit different, but it's a good experience to be around those guys, to have their experience around you. I was quite close with my school friends, and they were also like going out a lot, but as time went on, I wouldn't say I fell out, but I just drifted away from them a little bit. I mean, my friends have asked me to go to like house parties and like going out and stuff like that, but usually it would be on weekends, and I would have games on weekends, so I couldn't really attend that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, at first I was like, oh, I'm missing out again and stuff like that, but as time went on, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to play football and continue this journey. So even though I missed out on parties and like going out and stuff, I don't think it's been that serious. And I got closer with my teammates who also have the same journey as me, and I think it's been much better to have those people around who understand me and follow the same path as me.
I'd say Yoshi's very like energetic. He's a very happy person. You know, he's not afraid to, you know, show himself. And I think Yoshi's so positive that like it kind of forces me to kind of, I guess, feel more happy and stuff, and kind of get out of my shell a little bit more, because it's a little bit hard to, you know, stay to yourself when Yoshi's always being loud and making jokes. I think he's changed a lot, actually. From the first time I met him, probably when I was like 14 years old, Yoshi was a bit of an angry guy. Yeah, I didn't actually talk to him until maybe I turned 18. Obviously now I'm 20. So yeah, I've kind of seen Yoshi briefly from his early stages of playing all the way up until now. I feel like on and off the field, it kind of goes well together. You know, we like playing together, and he's always there for me when I need him. And I think that we're both like pretty open and honest people. So, you know, having him there like supporting me is always good, because I know that he's never gonna judge me and he's just gonna let me do my thing. I think the biggest thing is just don't underestimate how much like you take on as a student athlete, because generally as like, I guess, people supporting us, like obviously our parents, our friends, our partners and stuff, like we do go through a lot of stuff, you know, during the day, and obviously I think the support from outside is always welcomed, and like I feel like that means a lot to us when we have people supporting us. So I just think just don't underestimate the role that you play within our lives, and that like, you know, these supporting people do mean a lot to us.
I've never really thought about switching to a different sport, but it's been quite difficult to keep up with training schedule and school. And there's been moments where I wanted to stop, like playing football, but I just knew that it would have been a wrong choice for me to stop playing. I mean, just work hard. Not everyone's the same. Everyone has different paths, so I think the journey is going to be challenging, but if you really want it, and if you really know, if it's what you really want to do, it's going to work out. And I think just be patient, because everyone's journey is different, and don't really listen to what others have to say, because at the end of the day, it's your life and it's your journey.
Is there anything you'd like to say to all student athletes?
Do your homework on time.
What about him? Yeah. Any feelings?
But anything you want to say to Yoshi?
No.
Anything you want to say to the audience?
No. I mean, honestly, me and Yoshi have not really had I don't think we've ever had an argument off the pitch or on the pitch. You know, we both talk to each other very honestly, and we both accept each other's opinions and stuff. Probably the only time we've ever had anything was in Thailand when he was my roommate. He was stinking up the room, but that was probably about it.
Did that affect your game in any way throughout that week?
No, I just made Yoshi put all the dirty clothes in the bathroom, and I sorted from there.